Black Widow, the movie everyone has been waiting for since 2012, the first Avengers movie, which finally came out after being delayed for so many times since last year. Initially, it was supposed to release last year, but it got delayed a few times, and we have the movie now, more than a year later. So, how is Black Widow? After the events of Civil War, Black Widow is on the run. This movie takes place just after Civil War, what she was doing while everyone was on the run, and it also explains a lot about her past that we only heard about in previous movies, where she would briefly talk to someone about how rough our past was.
You don't know everything about me. I've lived a lot of lives. Before I was an Avenger. Before I got this family. I made mistakes choosing between what the world wants you to be.
This movie actually started off really serious. I really liked the beginning of this movie because this movie showed how she was actually taken by the Russian Red Room organization that just basically kidnaps young children, girls, and trains them as deadly assassins. And that's not just it. They do experiments on them. They even remove parts of their bodies so that they can never be pregnant. So yeah, rough stuff. And after a while, that actually goes away. The seriousness totally goes away because I think they remember it's a Marvel movie. And of course, there is a lot of humor in this movie, a lot of jokes. Some works, some does not, because there are some serious moments in the movie which are really destroyed by the jokes. Like someone would say something really serious and in such a jokey way, it just doesn't feel right. But nevertheless, there are some good jokes in the movie. Basically, the story is about Black Widow facing her past again, taking on the organization that ruined her life, ruined her childhood, along with her sister's childhood, who was also in the same organization, who just recently got out of it. And now they have Taskmaster on their tail. First thing that I want to clear off about the movie is Taskmaster was a big disappointment for me. I mean, this was such a waste of Taskmaster. The way they showed Taskmaster is, I cannot agree with this. Playing games, watching animated series, reading some comics, the things that I know about Taskmaster are not in this movie at all. This is not the Taskmaster you know or I know at all. So if you had like any hope that Taskmaster is gonna be an absolute badass who's gonna fucking tear up the screen, nope, that's not happening. Does that mean the movie is bad? No. This movie is much like some of the other Marvel movies where they had disposable villains, but still the movies were fun. But most of all, this movie actually feels a lot like a filler movie. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have felt that way if they released this movie back when Civil War was released, like after Civil War. They should have done that, because otherwise this movie doesn't really feel that important story-wise, because it takes place after Civil War and we already know what happens to Black Widow. So it is more like a filler story and it doesn't tie up to anything in the future, except you all probably know there is and always is end credit scene that promises something in the future. And also, I think for the sake of setting up some new characters for future Marvel movies, this movie surprisingly had some really emotional moments which I wasn't expecting, because in the beginning, like I said, there are some serious moments that are ruined by jokes, but still after some time there are some scenes that are really emotional, and most of it comes from Florence Pugh, and I fucking love Florence in this movie. She was absolutely amazing. The emotion, the innocence, the heart that she brings in this movie.
Oh my god, this... All right, enough. All of you.
I didn't say anything. That's not fair.
Makes this movie so much better. I mean, she was absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad that she is in the MCU and in a role that we will probably see her again in. in the future movies or series or somewhere. Actually, acting wise, everyone was pretty solid in this movie. David Harbour was amazing as this Russian Captain America who just keeps talking about his glory days, and he's genuinely a funny character in the movie. Most of the funny moments I think comes from him in this movie because other people are busy really being serious. And Florence Pugh actually raises some pretty good questions in the movie that are also very funny. So, does this movie have the MCU action set pieces? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, they do. The action sequences of this movie is bombastic. It's fucking everywhere. Destruction. And the CGI is also, I mean, it's Marvel, so obviously the CGI is like top notch. From beginning to end, there are a lot of action, there are a lot of set pieces that are just fucking amazing. But this movie's action doesn't really have that much weight to it. Much like many other Marvel movies, when you see the action, you know it's looking all great, but nobody's really in danger. Everyone's just gonna be fine. And it's like that. But are the actions cool? Do they have cool moves? Do they do cool things? Fuck yeah, they do cool things. Didn't you see the trailer? Black Widow just flying down and Taskmaster following her. That should look fucking epic in the trailer, and it still looks epic in the movie. Keeping the review short, this movie does not have very strong villains. Taskmaster was a disappointment. The main villain's agenda is very generic, but there's also a lot of emotion in this movie, a lot of humor that works most of the time. And like I said, jaw-dropping bombastic action sequences that just keeps you very, very excited to watch the movie. In no way this movie is a bad movie or a boring movie. This movie is a pretty fun, action-packed movie which just has a few flaws that a lot of previous Marvel movie had, and it's definitely a better movie than Captain Marvel. I just wish this movie came out much earlier than when it came out. I probably would have enjoyed this movie much more if it came out right after Civil War. But nevertheless, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun, but ultimately not a very great movie, especially after such a long break. I wasn't really expecting the movie to be weak. So I think I'm gonna give this movie a 7 on 10 because it was fun. Hey, thank you everyone as always for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button and the subscribe, and share with your friends if you want, and I'll see you on the next video.